and the health of democracies is responsible for each one of our countries. Right now, we live in a global context, in an environment, democratic environment. So the concerns about what is happening in another country in terms of its democratic health and situation, it's a global matter. It happens last year in Brazil, the Brazilian election, because our countries are not isolated islands. We as Mexicans were worried what was happening in Brazil, the largest democracy in Latin America, because we are aware of a domino effect. And I think what is happening right now in Mexico, which is not an isolated case, there are a lot of links with what is happening in American democracy or Brazilian democracy, or even in other parts of the world. So I think, just to underline, that it's very important to be concerned what is happening in terms of the health of democracy in our neighborhood or close countries. After saying that, let me say this. Yes, in a certain point, President López Obrador is right. I mean, what is happening with our democracy essentially is our problem. After saying that, yes but no, I don't want to create here a paradox. What I intend to say is that I think international community has is responsible to create a context of exchange within our countries. I mean, to know for us that we are being watched for international community is very important. I mean, not because we are afraid of an international intervention or something like that. No, that's not the point. But the same happened last year in Brazil, when President Bolsonaro claims that the voting machine are able to be software hacking or something like that. The international response, the point of view of international missions, saying trust, I mean, from our point of view, voting machines, Brazilian voting machines are possible. It's a sort kind of create a context of exigence. So I think that's very important. I mean, we have to solve our problems. And I trust a lot in the strength of our democratic institutions, right now the Supreme Court. But I think it's very important to watch each other, as well as let me say that I just said it today in the State Department, we're watching Mexico. Yeah, yes, thank you so much. It's necessary for us. But we're also watching you as Mexicans, because the health of American democracy is very important for us. And finally, I think we have to rethink not just the logic, but also the importance of international observation. I hope 2024 elections, despite what's the end of the story of the Plan B, I hope the court declares it unconstitutional, and therefore that we could go to 2024 elections with the legal framework that allows us until now stability and democracy and democratic conditions. But despite that, it's very important international observation. Hopefully, next year also we'll have the largest international observation ever. Maximum as well. That happens in Brazil. And I'm not saying that finally democracy in Brazil survived because of the international observation. But I want to point out that the international observation is fundamental in the times of threats for democracy all around the world in order to warranty electoral integrity.